To delve deeper into the rapid developments following North Korea's first provocation since the launch of the Moon Jae-in administration, we connect to our Arirang chief anchor Moon Connyoung, who has been keeping track of things at the top office. Connyoung, could you walk us through the latest at the Cheongwadae?
Right, Daniel, we did suspect that it was coming, just not this soon. Only 4 days on the job, President Moon Jae-in already has a North Korea provocation to deal with. Now, earlier in the day, within an hour or so from North Korea's missile launch, he called for an urgent meeting of top security officials and then chaired his very first National Security Council meeting as president. Now, he said he deeply regrets Pyongyang's move, and we're sure particularly so because Moon had advocated dialogue with North Korea to denuclearize all throughout his campaign, which is definitely a shift from the previous Park administration's ultra-hardline stance. Now, he strongly condemned the missile launch and ordered his military to be prepared for any future provocations. Here's his Chief Press Secretary, Yoon Young-chan.
The president said the missile launch was a clear violation of the UN Security Council's resolutions and a grave threat to the peace and safety of the international community, let alone the Korean peninsula.
So the president's message today was that while South Korea remains open to the possibility of dialogue with North Korea, it's only possible when North Korea shows a change in attitude, and that change in attitude is certainly not reflected in today's provocation. What you might have also found interesting, and it's definitely not a familiar sight, is that the top security meeting chaired by President Moon was attended by members of the previous administration. Now, that includes Kim Kwon-jin, chief of the National Security Office. It is a rare sight, but I've been told by a top Blue House official that the NSC meeting this morning effectively reflects how the Moon administration will work in collaboration with members of the previous administration until new members are named, appointed, and confirmed. Daniel?
Certainly a rare sight to see some familiar faces in those meetings. Connyoung, were there any communication between Seoul and Washington following the security meeting?
Indeed, the top security officer, Kim Kwon-jin, discussed this matter over the phone with his U.S. counterpart, H.R. McMaster, where the two reaffirmed the rock-hard, ironclad South Korea-U.S. alliance. Now, Washington has rolled out a statement calling the rogue state a flagrant menace, urging all nations to implement far stronger sanctions against the North. China, meanwhile, called for restraint by all parties involved regarding the North's latest missile test, and Japan has called the move just absolutely unacceptable. So all in all, Daniel, the next few weeks will definitely shape up to be a test of the new Moon Jae-in administration's policy vis-a-vis North Korea, as well as its foreign policy and diplomatic relations with key neighbors.
All right, Connyoung, thank you for being out there for us and providing us with those updates. We appreciate it.